I developed an interest in stained glass and became a practitioner and conservator through a chain of extremely serendipitous events. A man walked into my shop and he had in fact worked restoring all the windows in the Houses of Parliament. He'd restored medieval windows. And so I went from being a 27-year-old man who thought he knew everything about stained glass to realising that in this guy's little finger, he had more talent than I had in my whole body, and it was probably a good idea to listen to him. And when he met me, he knew that I was the person to teach, and I knew that he was the person to teach me. To make a stained glass window, you need to have some practical skills, so you need to be able to cut glass, you need to be able to draw and design and measure, but the ability to make superb stained glass is more about what it means, and the meaning of stained glass is really where the significance lies in it. The Dunedin window and the Nativity window both took a year's research before I even cut any glass. And that's because the significance of all the elements in the windows and deriving accurate reference material so that the work truly reflects the culture, people, geography, animals and plants that I'm trying to illustrate, that work really does need to be informed by accurate information. So, for instance, I would make several trips to Aotearoa to photograph New Zealand native alpine flowers to inform the accuracy of the flowers and foliage in the window that I just recently put in St Paul's Cathedral. It's a Zoroastrian astrologer who were the wise men in the Nativity window. I would look up what clothes a high-status Persian of that time would be wearing. I'd go to the trouble of actually using theatre lighting to light the characters. I would costume them, make sure I got characters who looked correct for the parts. That's really all part of the research of making a good window. When I was commissioned to do the Dunedin window for St Paul's Cathedral in Dunedin, because I wanted to reflect the cultural interests of the church and particularly the musical element, Kiritikana was an obvious choice for a person to approach to represent St Cecilia in the window. So fortunately, I knew people who knew her quite well, and I put the feelers out, and she thought that was a pretty good idea and created this beautiful image of St Cecilia, but it was a very New Zealand St Cecilia. She's actually visited the window twice. She likes the fact that she's been made a saint in the southernmost cathedral in the world. And I think a lot of people really enjoy seeing her in the window, including me. If you can make a stained glass window that makes people feel really good about what they do and makes their mission really clear, you create a powerful work environment for them. And I love being able to make windows that make people feel good in their environments every day. I make windows that go in hotels, I make windows that go in churches, I make windows that go in educational facilities, and I make windows that go in living areas for all kinds of different people. And each of those windows should, if it's done properly, make those people feel better about life and better about themselves and better about what they care about. It really does make spaces better for people to use.